It's time, Fort Wayne. Your sports, your station. It's the Sports Rush with Brett Rump.
Max Landis.
Covering all the topics that hit a nerve here in the Summit City.
Clark, 11 yards, touchdown.
Only on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Now here's your host, Brett Rump.
The greatest, most interesting, most important person of all time.
You are incredible.
Fordham won.
Yeah, well, you're half right.
What is this, amateur hour?
This is going to be huge.
I believe this is going to be our finest hour.
Just when I think you said the stupidest thing ever, you keep talking.
I think that's the worst thing I've ever heard.
That boy ain't right.
The simplest way to put it, I have problems.
Welcome to the alleged show.
Time to take you home on a Thursday. It is the Sports Rush. 4 down, 1 to go with this work week. Your daily local sports fix, 4 to 6. I am Brett Rump, along with Adam Lundy, our producer. And that means you get a chance today to take on Adam. I've got some Super Bowl trivia questions. If you think you know something about the Super Bowl, feel free to call us up if you'd like to play our little game. Even if we don't get a caller, we're still going to be able to play, Adam. But
Great.
We can toss in an extra Pizza Hut card.
All right.
And for your Fort Wayne Pizza Hut, if you'd like to play, just 260-447-8500. If you think you can answer some Super Bowl trivia questions, give us a call, 260-447-8500. Last night, Mastodons get the win over the Wright State Raiders in convincing fashion, 87-64. Rasheed Bello with 22. Jalen Jackson scored 20. Jalen Jackson is going to be joining the show coming up here in about 15 minutes. Also coming up this hour, we'll talk to Eric Dutkiewicz from Parkview Sports Medicine. He'll get us all set for tomorrow night's sectional semifinals in girls high school basketball and pick some winners of some of the sectionals. 260-447-8500. It would be more fun if we could have you challenge a listener.
Yeah, I agree. I hope we can get somebody that wants to do some Super Bowl trivia.
I think what this is you're much more intimidating than I am. So people can't wait to try to get me.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Well, I think they also take much more pride.
I'm going to the phones.
Yeah, I think they take much more pride in beating me, perhaps. No, it's going to be more fun. We've got a list of questions that are all pertaining to the Super Bowl, and so we'll just see if we've got Adam or the listener that is better, knowing the history?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I'm not going to win. I'm scared.
You're not going to win?
I'm scared.
Let's find out who is going to win. Somebody's joining us on the phone line. Who's this?
This is Doug.
Who's this?
Doug Keller.
Doug Keller.
Doug Keller.
All right. Are we ready?
Hey, Doug, you know the Super Bowl trivia? Is that what you got?
That's what we're going to try.
Yeah, we're going to try.
All right.
And I'm going to give you multiple choice, so it's not that embarrassing, and it keeps the game moving, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you got some music for this, Adam?
Yeah, let's do some music.
We got to have some music to get us through this segment. So, all right, this is Super Bowl trivia /history /record book. Question number 1. Among all these Super Bowl games, who had the most individual rushing yards in any Super Bowl? Who had the most? A, John Riggins. B, Terrell Davis. C, Jerome Bettis. Or D, Timmy Smith.
Who are we letting go first?
We always let our listener go first, and you can both take the same answer. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
This is not because you can have the same answer if you both know the answer. All right. What do you think, Doug? Riggins? Davis?
I'm going to
say
take Terrell Davis.
You're going to take Terrell Davis?
I was going to go Terrell Davis as well.
The correct answer is D.
Oh, no.
Timmy Smith rushed for 204 yards in Super Bowl 22 back in 1988.
Timmy.
Off to a roaring start, guys. Maybe you like the passing game.
Maybe.
All right. Who has the record for the most passing yards in a Super Bowl? Is it A, Tom Brady, B, Peyton Manning, C, Doug Williams, or D, Terry Bradshaw? Okay, Adam, I'm going to let you go first this time.
I'm going to go with Terry Bradshaw. D.
Okay, Doug, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Doug Williams.
He just likes Doug's name. Okay, hit the buzzer. You're both wrong.
Oh.
You're both 0 for 2. I thought we'd get this one. It was Tom Brady passing for 505 yards in Super Bowl 52 against the Eagles.
It just felt too easy to just have Tom Brady.
Yeah, no, it seemed like the obvious answer. So
Yeah.
you were thinking I was out to trick you.
I did.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that simple to just have the obvious answer. All right, let's try this one. How about the receiver that had the most receptions in any Super Bowl? Was it Travis Kelce, B, Randy Moss, C, Lynn Swann, or D, James White? We going Doug first?
Yep.
Doug, what do you think?
Let's go with Lynn Swann.
I'll go with Randy Moss. Why not?
Doug, are you regretting that you called in to play? Hit the buzzer. Hit the buzzer. You're both wrong.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. D, James White. 14 receptions in Super Bowl 51.
Oh, man.
All right. We'll try to get him easier.
Okay.
How far was the longest pass completion? Now, it's just the longest completed pass. How long was it? And your choices, A, 72 yards, B, 85 yards, C, 89 yards, or D, 94 yards.
It's me first?
Yeah. Go ahead and get your answer out of the way.
I'm going to go with, thanks. I'm going to go with 85, B.
B, okay. Doug, what do you think?
I'm going to go with D.
D?
D is in Doug, yeah.
Okay, I don't know what sound effect we use here, but if it's Doug, he gets a buzzer. Adam, give yourself a bell. 85 yards. Jake Delhomme to Muhsin Muhammad.
I didn't know that. I just thought that anything over 85 sounded like a lot.
For the Carolina Panthers, 85 yards is the longest pass completion. So if we see one that's more than 85 yards on Sunday, you know, because of this show and this little segment with all these wrong answers, you will now know. You will now know who had the longest completion. All right. Well, along those lines, who had the longest running play?
Oh
no. Let's not who.
Not who, just the length?
Let's do the length.
Okay.
I'll give you 4 choices. 66 yards, A, 66 yards, B, 75 yards, C, 80 yards, or D, 88 yards. How long was the longest running play in Super Bowl history?
I think it's Doug first.
We'll say 80 yards.
I'll take the under and I'll go 75.
Adam, you are on a roll.
Oh!
It is 75 yards. Willie Parker.
I used to like you, Adam.
I've heard that before.
Yeah. That's the story of Adam's life.
Yeah.
Willie Parker went 75 yards in Super Bowl 40. It is the longest run in Super Bowl history. Hey, this might be an easier one. It should be an easier one. I'll just give you that clue.
Oh, geez.
How about the longest field goal distance? Is it A, 52 yards, B, 54 yards, C, 57 yards, or D, 59 yards?
I'm torn between 57 and 59 because I think it's over 54. I'll go C. I'll go 57.
Doug, trying to break the schneid here, Doug.
I'll do B. I'll do 54.
Doug, do you want a second chance?
Oh, no.
Okay. I'll go with Adam then.
I can tell you this. It actually was set last year, and there were 2 kicks that were over 54 yards in the Super Bowl a year ago.
Wow. Shows how good my memory is.
Already.
Yeah.
Actually, the first score of the game last year was Jake Moody kicking a 55-yard field goal, which set the all-time record. But the record didn't last very long.
Same game?
Same game. Harrison Butker from the Kansas City Chiefs kicked a 57-yarder.
Oh.
Hey, all right. Doug is on the board.
He changed his answer, but we'll allow it.
We had to guide him through this. He was brave enough to call. I can't let him go over for the entire quiz.
All right, one more.
All right. Oh, yeah, we got one more. All right. Who is the only player in Super Bowl history? Adam's shaking his head like he knows the answer.
I think I might.
The only player to catch and throw a touchdown pass in a Super Bowl. A, Len Dawson. B, Roger Staubach. C, Nick Foles. Or D, Patrick Mahomes.
Is it me first?
No, Doug's first.
Okay, Doug, go for it.
Nick Foles.
Yep, Nick Foles, Philly special.
It's a good way to end. Yeah, the Philly special in Super Bowl 52. And Nick Foles became the only player in Super Bowl history to throw and catch a touchdown.
Hey, 2 right for Doug.
All right. So, Doug, appreciate you calling in. Stay on the line. Adam's going to get some info from you so we can toss you a Pizza Hut pizza card.
All right, thanks, guys.
Really, with his performance, it should be downgraded to like a personal pan rather than an actual large. But we'll give him a large.
That was fun.
That was fun. And you know what's fun about that game is our listeners can play along.
Sure.
And we don't know in real time how many of our listeners are getting it right or wrong. But it's a fun game to play because our listeners are probably sitting there and saying, geez, I'd have cooked Adams.
Hey, I got a couple.
You did. You got like 3.
Yeah, I don't know those players, but I was pretty good at guessing the numbers.
Yeah, once we got to the numbers, you got a lot better. Yeah, the first 3 where we had the names, you were 0 for 3.
I don't know who Timmy Smith is. I'm sorry.
Well, no, but didn't it make sense? So, because here's the thing. When I put this together, I thought I put Riggins, Terrell Davis, Jerome Betts, all logical answers, right?
Right.
And then I put Timmy Smith. Why would I have put Timmy Smith as one of the answers unless it's the right answer, right?
Yeah, but then the next one you throw Tom Brady in, and that one's the answer. So
yeah,
it's
I know.
like,
that's why I had to put in one that was like it actually was the obvious answer.
Messing with me.
Oh, that was fun.
That was fun.
I enjoy doing the other side of it.
Yeah, you like not having to answer the questions?
I didn't have any pressure on me. I just had to read the question. Your job in Tuesday Time Caps Trivia is much easier.
It is.
260-447-8500, the Parkview Sports Medicine text line, 260-447-8500. So coming up on Saturday, the Pacers are in L.A. Now, they'll play the Clippers tonight. I think we've got the broadcast, don't we?
We sure do.
Yeah, Pacers-Clippers right here at 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. On Saturday, the game with the Lakers has been flexed. I think that they are telling us that Luka is going to make his Lakers debut, or at least that's what ESPN is expecting, because they made a last-minute flex to pick this game up.
Yeah.
And so the Lakers-Pacers will be on ESPN. So a national broadcast for the Pacers on Saturday.
As if the road trip wasn't already tough enough, going out to the West Coast, playing 4 or 5 games. Let's add Luka Doncic to the mix.
You add a talented player, but you got to wonder what the chemistry is going to be like. They're not going to know much of an offense. Of course, then I wonder if who was the guy they just picked up, the center?
Oh, Mark Williams.
Mark Williams. Yeah. I wonder if he'll be there to join them.
I think he might be injured, but I'll get back to you on that one.
I think I might have heard that, but because it could be even worse.
Yeah.
And Miles Turner has actually responded to the trade deadline coming and going. What did he post, Adam?
He posted a picture of the Survivor, the TV show logo, and he also had a silhouette of himself kind of edited into it. But, another year of surviving the NBA trade deadline for Miles Turner.
Yeah, making light of what might be a rather stressful situation when you don't know if, the place you've called home for, 10 years, 11 years, 9 years?
Yeah.
That if it's all of a sudden you're going to have to change addresses, you're going to have to change teammates, you're going to have to change locker rooms. It's a lot of change that happens in a hurry, and you uproot your family. And so I'm sure it's been stressful for the last week or two for Miles Turner, and probably some of the relief is that he can kind of look back and laugh on it now that he is still a Pacer. And the Pacers really pretty quiet at the trade deadline.
Yeah, didn't do a whole lot. They got rid of Wiseman, who was kind of just taking up a spot.
And he was injured, so he wasn't even playing.
That's the thing. He's just taking up a spot, not playing, so you don't want that.
260-447-8500. Coming up on the other side of the break, we will talk to Fort Wayne's own Jalen Jackson, putting up 20-plus points per game. Fort Wayne proud. Jalen Jackson going to join us next here on the Sports Rush. 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Little different matchup last night between Purdue Fort Wayne and Wright State than what we saw 3 or 4 weeks ago in Dayton, where the Mastodons had to come up with a huge play at the end to force a second overtime and then won it 120-113 last night. The Mastodons had a 10-point lead at the half, built it to 20 points early in the second half, and then kind of coasted to the finish line, winning at 87-64. Mastodons have improved to 10-4 in the conference, now sitting in second place. And I guess good news, if you're scoreboard watching, was that Cleveland State took another loss, their second of the season in the Horizon League, as they were defeated by Northern Kentucky. Last night, 20 points. It's been kind of a recurring theme for the Mastodons. And our next guest, the junior out of Fort Wayne Northrop, a local product, making it happen here in his hometown. Jalen Jackson joins us. Hey, Jalen, how are you, man?
What up, Rump? I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Doing good. Always great to talk to you and sometimes clown around a little bit. But we got to talk about last night. Pretty solid win. Not a great start, but once you got on track, things started to happen. And you kind of had a few key plays in that game, taking it hard to the rack. And, you know, Jalen, one thing I've noticed is it looks like things are getting more and more physical for you. It just seems like you're taking more punishment. How are you holding up with all that?
That's just the nature of the game, you know. You guys, like I always, just make sure I stay on top of my recovery so my body's ready. But it's just kind of the nature of the game. It's going to be physical, especially with the teams in our conference. They like to play super physical, so Coach tells us to match their physicality all the time. So,
is it true, or is it just perception that the teams are playing you in a much more physical style?
I mean, I think it's true, just because, you know, I like to compete at a high level, and I like to win, and super good at, you know, getting past my defenders. So I think so.
Jalen, you came back to Fort Wayne after spending a year at UIC. When you came back, what was the motivation to return to your hometown?
It really was all about just like the fit and the style of play, just to be able to, you know, have the opportunity to be able to, like, obviously it's a plus, you know, be able to play back in my hometown. So my friends and family get to come watch and all that, but it's really just being able to showcase all the work I've put in. And here I was allowed the opportunity to do that, and thankful for it.
I'm curious, Jalen, because with your mom being a multi-sport athlete and, you know, having athletics in the family, your sister's now playing at Valparaiso. At what point did you know that basketball was going to be your sport? I know by the time you got to Carroll, it was pretty decided that you were going to be a college basketball player. But how far ahead of that did you know that it was going to be basketball you were pursuing, and why?
It was really my sophomore year of high school at Carroll. I got a concussion playing football, and my mom told me I had to stop. So then I just focused on basketball from there, and
wow,
it got me here. So
I'm surprised, because I thought from the time you were a freshman at Carroll that that basketball was going to be your future. You were still undecided. You were thinking about football too.
Yeah, I was playing both still, and then sophomore year I got a concussion in practice, playing a position I wasn't, and the rest is history, Rob.
Hey, Jalen, we sorry about that. We got some breaking news, and we'll try to get that in after we have a chance to talk to you. But, I mean, I want to congratulate you. The season you're having is fantastic. And sometimes you never know when's the right time to talk to a player, because I don't want to jinx anything. It's going so well for you. Every game, double figures. You're averaging 20 points a game. You're the midseason National Mid-Major Player of the Year at the halfway point. I mean, things have been really going well, but I'm sure in your mind as an athlete, there's things you want to see still improve down the stretch run. Personally, what are you trying to work on, and where do you want to see yourself play better down the stretch?
Just the ability to play open out the gates, being aggressive. Kind of sometimes I'm just kind of, come out a little too passive, but just being more aggressive, just continue the consistency. In fact, that's the major part of it. Just, consistency and also rebounding too. I feel like with Eric back, he's a pretty good rebounder, so having him back, but also helping him rebound and, I feel like that would help us get to the tournament, and that's our ultimate goal.
That's the thing. At 6'2", you can guard guys up to 6'7", 6'8" because of your physical athletic ability, and sometimes you have to because it's a short lineup. It's like the fourth shortest lineup in all of college basketball, and so you have to play a little different and have to match up a little bit different. But when you talk about trying to get to that tournament, how big would that be for you, knowing that you could bring and you have the potential to bring an NCAA tournament appearance to your hometown?
It'd be pretty cool just because of the fact that PFW has never gotten there before. So just, being the first would be a pretty cool moment for not only me but the city as well.
How focused are you? I mean, it's got to be hard to stay focused game to game. I know Coach Kaufman really preaches it, but knowing that all of that happens in basically 1 week in March. But what are you doing right now to have yourself prepared to get the most out of that week?
We have to continue to win out our conference in the regular season because that's going to put us in the best possible position to have the best chance to succeed when it comes to the conference tournament. So taking one game at a time, and our focus right now is February, so we're focusing on the next game, which is Green Bay on Saturday.
There's some folks that think that the season, because of the length of it, that there is a period maybe from mid-January into early February where you're past the start of conference play and you're not yet to the stretch run, where it's really a drag. Do you ever feel that, or do you think the team feels that at all during this period?
I don't think they feel like a drag. Obviously, everyone knows that a basketball season is the longest season at any sport in college, and it can be tiring. But when you love the game, you want to show up every day and you want to give out your best. So anytime we have the opportunity to play basketball, I think we all love it. So I don't think we look at it as like that.
Basketball gives you an opportunity to go to a lot of places that people probably dream about, a lot of great arenas. And I'm just wondering, because as a broadcaster, I have a bucket list. I have places like Pauley Pavilion at UCLA or Assembly Hall down in Bloomington, Mackey Arena. Those places I want to check off and say, yeah, I broadcast a game from there. Has there been a place that you've experienced so far which would be considered, and I know you're awfully young for a bucket list, but would be considered kind of a bucket list, a place you thought about playing as you grew up?
Well, Michigan State was definitely when I growing up, that's definitely the place, because I've been a Michigan State basketball fan, because I got to meet Tom Izzo when I was 7, so I always wanted to play there. I went to a game for my birthday when I was growing up too, so I definitely it'd be cool to play there just because, the environment there is crazy, too. But I feel like any arena, we got to play in Michigan this year with what's it called? With the Michigan arena. It was pretty cool.
Chrysler Center?
Yeah, no, that was elite. I actually liked that a lot. So it was a good environment, too. On their Twitter, they talked about how they, sold out the arena and stuff, so it was pretty neat.
Yeah, and other experiences this year include the trip down to Central Florida and the trip to Penn State. But, a lot of great trips that you get to go on. And do you ever think about just what a great position basketball has put you in, that you get to play in front of your hometown fans, you get to play for a local school that's totally supporting you and behind you, and you're having success, but it also affords you the opportunity to do so many special things?
Yeah, it's definitely a cool little thing to be a part of, just because of the fact that you know, you get to play in front of everyone. You know, you get the opportunity to be able to play college basketball. And people always ask, is like, you know, oh, you guys don't get spring break. Well, like, we also get to travel all year to different places. And I know we get to play basketball. But, like, it's just cool to be able to go to all these places you haven't been to in the country and even overseas, just due to the fact that we get the opportunity to play basketball, you know?
Got to get who's the class clown? If I asked you among the team, who's the prankster, who's the jokester? Who would you say?
Without a doubt, if I had to rank, it would be Davion at first, and then Lomax is second for sure.
The two guys that aren't even playing. All they're doing is just setting up pranks and playing jokes, huh?
No, they just like they're hilarious, and you know, you obviously wouldn't have the success without them. So, who's
the best singer?
Best singer? I have not heard anyone on our team sing. So
really?
I cannot answer that question for you.
Really? Man. All right. On the road trips, pancakes, waffles, or French toast? What's your favorite breakfast?
French toast. Yep.
Yep. No question. Jalen, you get set for Green Bay, and I know sometimes it's almost scary because you do not want to stumble against a team that comes in without a win on the season, but it's conference play. Every team is capable of getting a win on any given day. In fact, Green Bay pushed Cleveland State right to the finish line. What do you know about Green Bay from your experience of playing them up there?
They're a really good cutting team. They play well together. Obviously, they haven't had the success that they wanted to, but like you said, any given night, you know, we have to bring it our all. So we have to 100% for every game. So I just think that we got to prepare like we do for every conference game, and we have to be ready to play Green Bay, and they'll probably give us their best shot. So
with the success, I'm sorry, Jalen, but with the success of both programs, does that help the opposite program? I mean, are you pushed by the women's success, and with the men's success, are you pushing the women?
I just think we're very supportive of each other. I wouldn't necessarily say it as a competition. I just think, for me personally, like, it's cool to see both teams, you know, be at the top of their standings in the leagues, and seeing both players on each team win Freshman of the Week or win, like, Player of the Week. It's, like, cool to see that, you know, and I think we're super supportive of each other. I think especially the coaching staff, it's, like, cool to see them. Like, they're always supportive of each other, talking to each other every day. So I think it's, like, super cool to see that, just the fact that, like, the interconnectedness between our program and the women's program is pretty unique.
Jalen, one last question before I let you go. What is the one thing about being a college athlete that most people don't understand or aren't aware of?
Time management. That's got to be number one. People think they're going to be able to live the life they want to, that their friends want to, that don't play sports, but sometimes it doesn't work out the way they plan it, you know, Rump?
Well, I'm going to give you some time back because I'm going to wrap it up and let you have your evening, and look forward to seeing you Saturday at the doubleheader. Mastodon Mania this week. Women play at 4. The men against Green Bay at 7. Looking forward to it, and so far so good, Jalen. Let's keep it up.
All right, Rump. Appreciate you, man.
Yep, that is Jalen Jackson. Or maybe I should just call him Jackson.
So you don't get confused.
I don't know if the guy knows my first name.
Rump.
No, yeah, it's just Rump. But the funny thing is, every guy on the team, I don't know how many of them actually probably don't know my first name.
They might not. You're just Rump.
Yeah. Hey, Rump. What's up, Rump?
Man.
Yeah. So anyway, it's great to have Jalen on, and of course he's just having an unbelievable season for Purdue Fort Wayne right here in his hometown. Just a junior too, so he's still got another year. Let's hope it's here in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
260-447-8500, the Parkview Sports Medicine text line. We talked to Eric Dutkiewicz about women's high school basketball coming up next here on the Sports Rush, 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. We've got Eric Dutkiewicz standing by, but to start this segment off, we've got to get right to breaking news from Bloomington. Indiana head basketball coach Mike Woodson is contemplating stepping down and retiring. Sources have told the Field of 68, and it's been posted by Jeff Goodman, one of the more reliable, credible sources in college basketball. The Hoosiers have lost 6 of the last 7, and Woodson has lost the support of high-level boosters. And there have been ongoing discussions today about his future. So might be hearing that this season, and he may go ahead and coach the rest of the season and then walk away, but he may put the plans in place for Indiana to go ahead and find his successor.
Yep. Also added by Jeff Goodman, it does say the current plan would be for him to finish out the season, and then, of course, Indiana does face Dusty May and Michigan on Saturday.
Do you wonder if this was leaked intentionally 2 days before Dusty May is coming to town?
Interesting. Everything's a conspiracy.
Just think about that. Well, I'm just connecting some dots here.
Yeah, they're out there.
The Dusty May, who I think might be, when you talk about the boosters, Dusty May be the person that the big dollar boosters would like them to go after.
Mm-hmm.
And they put this little leak out there that they've had discussions with Mike Woodson about him stepping down and retiring. And they get it out there the day before Dusty May brings his Wolverines into town. Now, they don't play tomorrow, so if anybody's getting confused, but they will arrive in Bloomington tomorrow. So Dusty May will be on campus or at least in Bloomington at some point tomorrow. And this news freshly leaked just ahead of that. Oh, what a coincidence.
Makes you think.
That's not an accident.
I'm seeing the announcement could be as soon as early as this weekend. So we'll see.
Oh, maybe there'll be an actual formal passing of the torch. He'll
just take off his.
Maybe it'll be a jersey exchange.
Yeah.
Maybe Mike Woodson will go down and give Dusty May an IU pullover and make it official. That's really. But I guarantee you, it is not just a coincidence. This is all coming out and coming down just on the eve before Michigan arrives in Bloomington.
Yeah.
Tell me Dusty May is not going to be the number one choice for Hoosier fans. Some have mentioned Chris Beard, and I think Chris Beard is going to be right there as perhaps 1B, but I think Dusty May is 1A.
Yeah, we'll see if they can possibly pull him away from a program he's only been at 1 year. But
give us your thoughts on the Parkview Sports Medicine text line 260-447-8500, 260-447-8500. We got to get to Eric Dutkiewicz, who's joining us right now on our guest line. And Doot, it's kind of the crossover this week. We've got tournament action to talk about, but also the stretch run for the boys basketball. As we had a good one last week. Man, did we have a good one with Wayne and Lures. That was one heck of a game to just observe and watch. Great athletes, great talent. Wayne ended up prevailing. They're in the driver's seat. They got a tough one with Homestead coming up next week. But your thoughts on where boys basketball is at this week?
Well, I mean, it's really crazy just because, I mean, on top of it, you throw in there the fact that Wayne then turns around and plays Blackhawk Christian on Saturday and loses. And Blackhawk Christian, we know, a good team that is not in a conference that takes on all comers as well and had a good showing and big win over them. And they played Homestead earlier in the year and beat Lures earlier in the year. And so, you know, what's cool about this time of year is we get into the girls' postseason. For the boys, you know, the conference race is heated up, but also, too, a lot of those intriguing matchups that not only for conferences, but also those, you know, out-of-conference matchups, you know, the Waynes versus Blackhawk Christians, the Lures versus Blackhawk Christian, Homestead, and, you know, I think Columbia City, those type of games, those league-leading opponents. So I think that's what's fun about it, too, is that you get some good games, different days of the week. And, but yeah, I think, you know, Wayne had a great showing in beating Lures for the you know, they're one of the top teams of the week. Blackhawk Christian up there, Homestead as well, just because they continue to roll with 9 straight wins. And, it's just been a really fun couple of weeks to see some of these teams lock up.
And we've got to move quickly through our boys' top 5. So let's start with this week's number 5.
Number 5, we go to, we go to Leo Lions. Yeah, great wins for Leo. Since that New Haven loss, we had that game a couple weeks back as the PSM Game of the Week on 1380 The Fan. But, you know, Leo has kind of rebounded. They dominated Belmont by 41 on Saturday, beat Northside at By-Hay Arena by a point last week as well. So big wins for them, sitting back a little bit in conference, but you know, finding momentum for Derek Heinen in his first year.
Number 4,
the West Noble Chargers. a team that's hanging around here in the NECC. They've got 3 straight wins. They're one of 3 teams with Westview and Angola sitting at 6-1 atop the NECC. They beat Fairfield by 8 and a big win over DeKalb in non-conference action. Under 50 points a game, but getting it done on defense as well. So West Noble checks in at number 4.
And number 3?
Now we start seeing the big boys. Number 3, Homestead this week. I mentioned it just a second ago. They beat NE8 leading Columbia City by 11 yesterday. They got the 12-point win over Northrop last Friday. 9 straight wins. They're the only SAC team on a winning streak longer than 1 game. They keep rolling. They host Wayne on Tuesday. That's a huge one in the SAC, and that should be a fun one. They come in now at number 3 at 15-4, 5-1 in the conference.
Number 2.
Number 2, the Wayne Generals. You know, they were rolling right along. They beat Lures. You think maybe they get the top spot. Kind of a wish goes both ways for Wayne this past week. They did knock off Lures at home to get first place at the SAC, the lead there, but then dropped that game to Blackhawk Christian. Congrats to H.J. Diller. You mentioned it yesterday on the Sports Rush. Now the all-time leading rebounder in Wayne history. He's averaging 14 points, 9.3 boards a game in his senior year. Really strong showing. Homestead and Southside next up for Wayne. So some fun games there.
Yeah, he broke the record of Al Gooden, and most people in our community only remember Al Gooden as a coach. It's like John Madden. Most people just know Madden because of the video game. They don't know that he coached the Raiders many years ago. All right.
Great player at Ball State, too. Can't forget the chirps.
Here we go. Here we go to number 1.
Number 1, we talked about them, the Blackhawk Christian Braves. You know, 3 straight wins, 7 of their last 8 for this Braves team, sitting at 14-3, a top 10 team at 3A, climbing up through the ranks there. They got the 5-point win over Lures earlier in the year, but they edged Wayne on the road last Saturday. They get 56-52 win there. Kellen Pickett, 22 points, 19 rebounds, 7 blocks versus Wayne. He's averaging a double-double, an Indiana All-Star candidate. He was a junior All-Star a year ago, headed to Wright State. He's leading the way. Gage Sefton, another big player for them. So congrats to Blackhawk for taking number 1 this week.
All right, let's talk about the girls sectionals because they're already underway. We've got semifinals coming up tomorrow. We're going to be out at Northrop for a 4A sectional with Northrop taking on Northside and Snyder taking on Carroll. Who gets the trophy? Who cuts down the nets at Northrop?
Yeah, I think ultimately this leads to a Northrop sectional. I think Northrop is the strongest team in this. They benefit from the draw. I think one of the things you're going to find throughout this sectional is just off the top is because of the new alignment with the classes and the new geographical alignments of the sectionals. Because of those classes, a lot of those matchups off the top that got a lot of people antsy are not going to be there. And I think this sectional really works out for Northrop. I think they cruise past Northside easily tomorrow. That Snyder-Carroll game is going to be really good. Carroll beat Snyder last Friday at Kilmer Court. Kayla Hafner, 32 points, the freshman, All-SAC. A phenomenal volleyball player, by the way, led the state champion for Carroll. She's going to be somebody to watch in both sports, but volleyball, real deal there, more so even than basketball, I'll just say. I think it's Carroll and Northrop, and with Northrop winning that one at their host site.
All right, we got to try to just get the winner and why rather than go through all of the games because we're running out of time. By the way, just a quick side note, Northrop's last sectional championship, I was shocked by this, was 2009.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been that long. All right, what about Homestead? It looks like this is Homestead's tournament.
Yeah. Homestead easily, they've won 6, make it 7. Huntington North, the only team in this sectional that has a shot, but they've kind of hit it low, lost 3 of their last 4. I'll go with the Spartans easily.
In Fairfield, you've got Columbia City. They're now in 3A. They do not have the roadblock known as Homestead. Can Columbia City break through this year?
I think this is the year to break through. Believe it or not, as good as these teams have been for Columbia City with Addison Baxter and Sheets and all those people, 2000, it was the last time that Columbia City girls won a sectional. That's because of the groups that they were in, the sectionals they were in. This one's a little bit more favorable for them. They get past number 10 Northwood easily Tuesday. They win it easily on Saturday night.
3A sectional at Concordia, where they're going to have to play 3 consecutive days. Who do you like to cut down the nets at Concordia?
You know, the really strong, surprising team out of this group to me that I've taken notice is East Noble, actually. At one time, East Noble got up, I think, the others receiving votes in Class 3A for the state of Indiana. This is that weird, wild sectional with teams everywhere. I like East Noble to come out of it. Don't sleep on a DeKalb team. But I think East Noble takes it, and we'll just have to see how it bears out because it did get postponed. But I'll roll with East Noble getting a big one.
Norwell, I think everybody anticipates a big Saturday night at the Castle where you'll have Norwell versus Belmont. Who wins this one?
Yeah, this one is going to shape out again. Belmont, a run all year long, sitting at 20-2. Norwell 17-6. Not the best year for them. Here's the thing. Belmont won earlier regular season. I like Norwell to avenge the loss at home on Saturday night and get another sectional. There's just something about those Lady Knights in the postseason. I will roll with the big upset special of the week for the Norwell Knights. 2A
Central Noble. Does Eastside have a challenger?
Nope. 23-1, best season ever. Really good group. 4 seniors on there leading the way. Eastside rolls easily in this NECC sectional.
I know Whitco and Bluffton have the best records at Bluffton. Lures is a team to at least keep an eye on, but who do you like to ultimately get the trophy?
Yeah, I think it goes to Whitco. Whitco gets past Woodland by 17 in that first game on Tuesday. On paper, that's probably the best game of this bracket, and all around. I think, and then actually I stand corrected on that because we got Bluffton in there. I think Bluffton-Whitco is the final. I'll roll with Bluffton. Sorry, that went over to the next page. We'll go Bluffton to win. They keep things rolling at 21-2. By the end of it, they'll have a couple more wins and roll on to regional.
Well, you're making predictions, dude. Got to ask you about Sunday. It's the Super Bowl. Chiefs, Eagles, who you like there?
Neither. No, just like everybody else. No, but, hey, look, both these teams made it. I think the difference has been Saquon Barkley for these Philadelphia Eagles. Biggest acquisition, not only this offseason, but maybe in a certainly a long time, maybe ever. So I'll roll with the Eagles winning. It should be,
yep.
Super Bowl, it's a big thing.
Yep.
I'll go with the Eagles in this one, and I think Saquon probably gets the MVP.
And I got to know what's the latest and greatest at Parkview Sports Medicine.
Yeah, just a reminder for all our athletes out there, if you're looking to up your game, to take it to the next level, maybe make a varsity team, maybe look to play college athletics, need individualized sports performance training through our EDGE program. It's every day, different hours, different locations, that individualized training, athlete-centered to help you do your best. For more information, go to parkviewsportsmedicine.com/edge. You can sign up for a free consultation to get started, to help see where you land and get started to earn your edge with PSN.
We'll catch you tomorrow night, dude. Appreciate it.
Yep, we'll see you then.
Eric Dutkiewicz joining us here on the Sports Rush. We'll talk more about the breaking news when we return. It's the Sports Rush on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. The big news today, and we'll have a chance to talk more about it tomorrow, seems to be coming out at a very interesting time that Bloomington and Indiana may be getting a resignation from Mike Woodson. Apparently, according to Jeff Goodman, he says that Indiana head coach Mike Woodson's contemplating stepping down, retiring, and coaching out the rest of the season, but calling it his last. And the fact that this announcement is being leaked the day before Michigan arrives in Bloomington for a Saturday game, I don't think is any kind of accident. I think it was planned that way, and they want Dusty May to know, hey, this job might just be open or will be open. And
start look at Assembly Hall.
Thinking about it while you're on campus. Just think about that. And because what's going to happen Saturday, he's going to get a huge ovation from Indiana fans, and they're going to want him to think, hey, this could be every game if I come here and actually coach this basketball team. Yeah, it's not an accident, but Hoosier fans in many cases might be getting their wish. Thanks to our guests that appeared on the show, Rob Blackman, the voice of the Purdue Boilermakers, also Jalen Jackson from the Mastodons, and Eric Dutkiewicz. Tomorrow, a best of show. We'll have that to take you into your sports weekend at 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.